The process of coming up with an appropriate instrument to measure population health literacy in the Philippines involved a series of detailed steps to ensure accuracy, consistency, and applicability. The instrument being used in the ongoing National Health Literacy Survey is a modified version of the NHLS EU Asia developed by the Asia Health Literacy Association. Developing the Philippine version of the instrument involved a two-phase process, the first being localization, followed by pre-testing. The localization process was carried out in three steps: modification of HLS EU Asia, translation of HLS EU Asia Philippine version, and cultural adaptation. The first step is modification of the HLS EU Asia to include questions that will elicit answers which will help identify the health literacy needs of Filipinos. The information will be useful for the Philippine Department of Health in formulating interventions to improve health literacy. The modified version is referred to as HLS EU Asia Philippine version 1. Now that the questionnaire is modified for the Philippine setting, we proceed to the second step of localization, translation. The second step was the translation of the HLS EU Asia Philippine version 1 from English to the 9 major Philippine languages. The three phases of translation are forward translation, back translation, and translation analysis. In forward translation, the original English questionnaire was translated to 9 of the major languages in the Philippines. These are Filipino, Ilocano, Kapampangan, Bicolano, Hiligaynon, Cebuano, Waray, Maranao, and Tausug. 8 of these are translated by the Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino or KWF, while the Tausug language was translated with the help of the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos or NCMF. Next is back translation. In this stage, we reversed what was previously done. The current version of the questionnaire in 9 languages was translated back to English. Native speakers of both the local language and English were commissioned by the project to complete this task. The third and final step of translation is the analysis of the forward translated document. Here, the back translated document will be compared to the original English questionnaire in terms of equivalence. The purpose of this stage is to validate the translations and ensure that the original context of all items was not lost in translation. Using a scheme developed by Hall et al., each item will be rated according to an A to D criteria. A if the translated version shows perfect semantic equivalence and good literal and semantic parallel with the original questionnaire. Items are rated B if the translated version shows satisfactory semantic equivalence but has 1 or 2 different words. Items are rated C if the translated version preserves the meaning of the original but without satisfactory equivalence. Finally, D if the translated version shows no agreement at all with the original question. Items rated D are to be given attention to in the next stage of our localization process, the focus group discussion. After modification of the HLS EU Asia and translation was validated and finalized, cultural adaptation followed. This was accomplished through a focus group discussion. The general objective of cultural adaptation is to gather feedback from a subset of the target population about the HLS EU Asia Philippine version 1. One focus group discussion was organized per study site. The group consisted of the following: 2 locals from each age category, young, adult, and elderly, 1 representative per residence type, urban and rural, 1 local research methods expert, and 1 local language expert. The discussion was facilitated by the area coordinator with the research assistant of that area, discussing clarity, appropriateness, and semantic equivalence of each item in the questionnaire. After which, revisions are done with the output of the HLS EU Asia Philippine version 2. The 3 steps of localization have now been completed. We now proceed to pre-testing the HLS EU Asia Philippine version 2. In pre-testing this, the second version is administered to a total of 12 individuals each per language from a sampled municipality or city. After necessary revisions, The version is revised to HLS EU Asia Philippine version 3 and is also pilot tested for further improvement. After undergoing all these processes, the HLS EU Asia Philippine questionnaire is finally ready for full-scale data collection.